Welcome to the TLC Talk, a podcast by Ohio 4-H Teens. Hello, everyone. My name is Wyatt Morrow, and I'm the Communications Committee Chair for the Ohio 4-H Teen Leadership Council. This interview is with Aubrey Barger. She is one of the inductees into the 2024 Ohio 4-H Teen Hall of Fame. So if you haven't already, check out our second committee chair episode that features Aubrey and her talking about her 4-H experiences and her role as social media committee chair for the Ohio 4-H Teen Leadership Council. So Aubrey, if you want to go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that introduction. So like you said, my name is Aubrey Barger. I am from Licking County. Um, and this is my eighth year in 4-H, I believe. And so, I'm very involved with the Teen Leadership Council. Like you said, I'm the social media committee chair. I've been on TLC. This is my third year now. I've been very involved with my county before that. And so, this is kind of wrapping up my 4-H journey. I couldn't be happier to be here.
Absolutely. So, if you guys don't know, on the window clings that they have for the Hall of Fame members and the Teen of the Year, they have five different areas to kind of show off what they have done as a 4-H member. So, Aubrey, yours are archery, leadership, cooking, creative arts, and community service. So, do you have any major moments that have kind of been around those five different areas?
Absolutely. So when I started my 4-H journey, I was into cooking. That was my big, starting point. And I've done cooking projects every year that I've been in 4-H. Um, but the one I would like to kind of point out is archery. And I have only done two archery projects. I started, 2 years ago after I went to state leadership camp, and I shot a bow for the first time, and I thought, you know what, I love this. And so, I decided it was something I want to pursue. And, now I have a purple ribbon at the state fair for archery. And so, it's never too late to start doing anything. That's kind of my advice is like, I was 15 when I started and, it's kind of on the senior side of 4-H members, but it's never too late to start trying something out.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. And if you guys also check out that episode with Aubrey, there's a bunch of pictures of her from her archery career on her photo page. So definitely check those out. They are super cool. So next I want to ask you, what was that moment like when you found out that you were going to be inducted into the 4-H Teen Hall of Fame?
I absolutely did not believe it was happening. I'm still a little bit in shock, even though, it's been a couple months since I found out, and it's been, almost a month since I've been inducted, and it still doesn't quite feel real to me. It's so surreal. I was so in shock. I was driving and I pulled over because I saw a notification. It's like, congratulations from Ohio 4-H. And I thought, what could this be? Like, I haven't applied for anything. Like, what's going on? And so I pulled over and I looked and I was just in shock. And um, I remember calling my grandma and she was like, did you crash your car? I'm like, no, this is good news. And I was like, I was a mess. I still am a mess when I'm like thinking about it. It was so insane. Like, um, it's still a surreal moment. And like, even when I think about it, even when I walk in the 4-H center and see my face on the wall, I'm like, no way that this is real. Like, yeah,
And also you got another really cool notification that day about another 4-H opportunity. You want to talk about that?
I did. So on the same day, about 2 hours later, I got an email that I'm a delegate to National 4-H Conference, which is really exciting. It's in just a couple weeks in DC. Um, and so that was an incredible notification to get. And kind of that day was just great. Finding out all of these amazing things.
Absolutely. So to end off your interview about Hall of Fame, what advice do you have for 4-H members watching this?
This is pretty much the same advice I gave in the committee chair episode, but I'm going to say it again because I feel like it is so important. If you were ever on the fence about doing something, applying for like a leadership position or going to like a workshop, just a 1 day, half an hour workshop, do it. Absolutely do it. There's really nothing to lose from either, going to that workshop or applying for that thing, for that position, for that trip. You might not get it. That is totally okay. At least you tried. And, there's never been a 4-H experience that I've had that I tried for that I thought was a bad idea. So I think that's what's so beautiful about the 4-H program being crafted the way that it is. There's really no bad opportunities. And so, any opportunity that you can take, take it. You know, um, these are, such formative years of your life and they go by before you know it. And so you don't want to be sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish I would have done that. So, that's my advice. Just take the plunge, just do it.
Absolutely. And I know as well as probably you do, you don't get every opportunity that you apply for. And sometimes as disheartening as that is, if you just keep going and going and don't let that, discourage you, you never know what could happen in your 4-H career. Like you said, starting archery later or, other things like that. So I definitely agree with you. Take all the chances that you can get. All
Yeah,
right.
if I would have stopped the first time that I've been rejected from anything, I wouldn't be here right now. I mean, I would, I wouldn't be on TLC. I wouldn't be in the Ohio 4-H Teen Hall of Fame. So it's about, taking every opportunity you can get and then, taking some of the no's and saying, okay, how can I make myself better from this?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Well, thank you so much for this interview about Hall of Fame. It was great talking to you again. In this interview, I am joined with Travis Allen. He was one of the 2024 Ohio 4-H Teen Hall of Fame inductees. Travis, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Travis Allen. I'm from Lincoln County. I've been a 4-H member for 10 years, and I was certainly excited when Wyatt reached out to me about being on the podcast. So, thanks for having me, Wyatt.
Absolutely. So, kind of just to get to know you a little bit more, before we start talking specifically about Hall of Fame, if you want to go ahead and list off your county opportunities that you've been able to participate in.
Yeah, so world of 4-H through my county, and so I would say definitely my starting points with that were obviously starting as a clover bud in 4-H and then working my way up through the fair and showing. I showed poultry for my entire 4-H career, but that kind of involved stepping out into other opportunities like camp counselor, junior fair board, cartoons facilitator. Those are all kind of the things that I've done within my county consistently over the last few years. So junior fair board is just a group that assists with running our local fair. Camp counselor helps run our local 4-H camp, and cartoons is a program that we have here in Lincoln County where youth can come and if they're given a traffic violation, they're able to use 4-H as a way to learn about that experience.
Absolutely. There's so many really cool. I'm always interested by cartoons because, not every county has it.
Hmm.
But the counties that do, it's really, really interesting. How that program works, how the 4-Hers get to help facilitate that and, what it looks like. It's super, super cool.
Yeah, it's
The
super
next
special. We're able to have like connections with our judges and stuff, and so we have them come in and speak. We have police officers. It's really a great program. It's a really good learning experience for me and the youth that come to attend it.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have it in the next county over. Highland County doesn't have it, but Clinton County does. And
Okay.
I've been able to see little bits here and there and hear from, people in Clinton County, and it's really, really cool the things that you guys get to do in cartoons.
Yeah.
My next question for you is what state opportunities have you participated in? A little bit about, what you've done on TLC.
Yeah. So kind of starting with like state outreach, how I got involved with that was really through trips, but that'll be, a section later in the podcast. But as far as our state opportunities go, I started with Forhea, which is typically a good starting point for other members looking to get involved with the Teen Leadership Council. I say Forhea is like a condensed version of the acronym for 4-H Event Youth Assistant. So they attend less meetings than a Teen Leadership Council member, and they're able to still assist with the Ohio State Fair. So that's kind of how I got started, since I had missed the sign up for TLC that year. So yeah, that was a really good opportunity. And then, from that I kind of evolved into TLC, making friends on Forhea. So the Teen Leadership Council has been great. I'm a committee member right now in the oh, they renamed our committee, the State Outreach Committee, and so we were able to get some other members from other states to come to our 4-H conference this year, which was really cool, from Kentucky. So I've had a great time working with the State Outreach Committee. I was also a committee member last year on the social media committee. So I've had great experience meeting people. Not only just youth from around the state, but also different adult advisors and things in the state office. It's been a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And the work that you guys have done with State Outreach this year was super, super cool. Having Kentucky come,
Hmm.
we also had them on the podcast. Such a fun episode, such a great experience
Yeah,
to kind of see our program and for them to talk about theirs. That was super, super cool.
yeah, that was a great episode. But yeah, I think this year has definitely been a year that's not been like any other for the State Outreach Committee. Actually being able to like interact with those people opposed to just a Zoom call. It's certainly great getting back after all that. So.
Absolutely. My next question for you is, what are those national opportunities trips that you've been able to participate in?
Hmm. Yeah, so when I started with national opportunities and things like trips and 4-H, I really started at not a low point, but like a low time with numbers and things of that nature. And so it really just kind of jump started my career in 4-H, and I kind of attribute a lot of my success in 4-H and things like that to being afforded opportunities because of the low number of applicants that were happening during the years of like 2021. And so I applied for National 4-H Conference, which was really my first step out into National 4-H. But also I did things like the Urban Immersion Project trip, the Cultural Immersion Project trip, which probably would have really been my first start. That was in 2021. We it's called the Cultural Immersion Project trip, and it's led by another educator in Warren County. I was able to travel to Puerto Rico, and I hadn't really been anywhere like that. It was a really big culture shock, getting to meet the people, learn the culture, and just see a different way of life. So that was definitely, it changed the way I think at a younger age. Being a sophomore, it isn't usually something that you're able to do, and be in that kind of a place with that type of setting, like a safe setting where you're able to, learn and grow. So that definitely jump started a lot. When I got back, I knew I wanted to do more in 4-H, and I knew it was going to be the thing that I did. I was going to make 4-H my thing. So when I got back, I was looking for more trips because Puerto Rico is a great one to start out on. And my educator told me about National 4-H Conference, and so I was like, okay, I'll apply. There's no chance I'm going to go. It's a big trip, lots of applicants, and I ended up getting to go. I met a lot of people. It was super cool, and I learned a little bit about myself and about what I want to do with my life after high school. It changed the way I think about government and things like that, since National 4-H Conference is held in DC. So that was super cool. I hadn't been there before because my 8th grade trip had been canceled because of COVID. And so going from there, after conference, I got back and they had applications for the youth leadership team, which is the youth team that they MC the conference, they organize things, plan things. So I applied for that with the same attitude. I was like, there's no way I'm getting this, this is open to the whole country. I was just lucky to go, if I don't get it, that's okay. But luckily I was able to go, and I was super excited to go back. And I worked with an amazing group of people in DC, and that's an experience I'll never forget. That youth leadership team, really, it was a special experience. Um, and then my most recent trips, kind of on the downhill slope of my 4-H career, would have been the Urban Immersion trip and the Congress trip, which was also a super huge honor that I was excited about. Urban Immersion trip is it's also a really unique trip. It's led by the same educator that leads the Cultural Immersion trip, and they take you into DC, but you don't go to the same part of DC that you go for conference. You go to the part where the actual people live, and you get to experience life in the urban city and the urban environment, and learn about homelessness and things of that nature. So that was great, and that also shifted my perspective on the world. Then, not to take too long, but just Congress. Congress is a trip that our state award winners go to in Atlanta every year. And so that's kind of like an honor to be able to go on that trip. And that was super cool. And my educator was one of the chaperones. So that was, a beyond great experience. And I met some great friends through that.
Absolutely. And I think your story is really unique in the sense that, like you said, there was a low number of applicants right after COVID. And so, just because you had like that drive to just be like, I really kind of want to go on these trips, really take these opportunities, you were able to go, and that really kickstarted all of this for you. And, I think that was
Yeah.
really, really helpful. I want to ask you now more specifically about Hall of Fame. What was the moment like when you found out, you got the email that you're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? What was that moment like?
It was really special. I was completely not expecting it at all. I didn't even know that was something that I had even been able to be up for until I got the email saying I was going to be inducted. I was kind of beside myself, and I texted my educator. I was like, I don't even know what to say right now. It's like, I can't believe all of this that doesn't even feel like work to me. It doesn't feel like it's something that needs to be awarded. It feels like something that I'm rewarded by doing it. I'm rewarded um, in my own life by giving back and things of that nature. And so to be able to also receive like an award and an accomplishment and be recognized for all that I do it's been really amazing. And yeah, it was just special. I can't explain it.
Absolutely. Now, I also want to ask you another thing about Hall of Fame. What was it like going to conference? You walk across the stage, receive that award, and you get to see all these people from your county, people throughout the state. What was that feeling like, being supported by everyone there at conference?
It was great. It was really great. It was like walking across the stage and just seeing my 4-H career in front of me, having my family right in front of me, who obviously means so much to me and my success. But also having the table right next to them be my educator and other supporters of 4-H and all the people from the council. And just everybody being there, it was special to be able to see my 4-H career and not only my 4-H career, but my life as a high school, middle school, elementary student. I'm right in front of me and kind of come to a close with a really good note. So that was really, really cool.
Absolutely. It's like I've talked to with, everyone who's been inducted into Hall of Fame and, Emily with Team of the Year this year, having that moment of reflection when you're
Hmm.
walking across stage, seeing that all in front of you, it is really, really interesting for you guys to talk about that, have that moment of
Hmm.
reflection. I think it's really, really cool. And it's also cool because you were also inducted with Aubrey Barger, who's also from your county. So, I bet that was also
Hmm.
really interesting to
It
kind of,
was.
guys were side by side throughout your counties and the state
Hmm.
stuff and now into Hall of Fame. I think that was really, really cool.
Hmm. It was special. That's definitely not an experience that everybody's able to have. Growing, I'm not necessarily growing up with Aubrey since I met her through 4-H. I didn't know her as a younger kid, but I'm getting to know her and getting to know her as a person has been great. And then being able to also be awarded at the same time as her was also special.
Absolutely. My last question for you is, what advice do you have for members that are watching this?
My advice for younger members or any other member, anybody in 4-H, there's no late time to get involved. There's never a late time to get involved or have an idea that you think is too crazy because those are the ones that work out. Those times that you don't think you're going to get something, you don't think you can do it. Those are the times that push yourself and you succeed. So my advice is to take advantage of every opportunity. If you hear something about something and it interests you at all, you owe it to yourself to find out. It's your chance. This is your time. You're still young. 4-H is about youth development, so this is the time to push yourself and time to explore what you want for your life. And so that's what 4-H has done for me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your piece of advice and talking about your 4-H experience and, everything that you've got to do leading up to Hall of Fame. So again, thank you so much for this interview.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Stay tuned for more episodes coming soon on our channel.